What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? I hope you all have been enjoying the build of the HO scale Pandrel Jackson 6700. It's been an enjoyable model, learning experience. As I said before, this is my first metal model, and I really enjoyed it. I'll probably do a couple more in the future. But this is the fourth and final installment of the model, and Dave has been leaving some great comments. He's very happy with it. Stick around to the end of the video, as I did get to meet Dave and his wonderful wife. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please go to the description, check out Dave's link to his channel. He's a great guy. You won't regret watching any of his videos. They're very informative, insightful, and he just keeps you entertained. Without further ado, here's part 4 of the Pandrel Jackson 6700. Alright, let's continue on with part 4 here of the HO scale 6700 tamper. Right now, what I got to do is I got to finish up putting on these handrails. And it's a very small gauge thin wire. And since it's so tiny, I mean, I deal with N-scale, and so I got an N-scale foam block for the engines to work on, or cars, or anything like that. So I broke it out, and this is going to work out just fine for supporting the tamper. But yeah, it's handrails is the metal problem. You got to put a slight little bend on the end. Just a slight. I need to get a better set of needle nose for this type of job here. Put a little bend there. You see that bend there? That has to go in that hole right. Oops, sorry. Has to go in that hole right there, and it has to go to that hole right there. So I'll get these bent up, and we'll get them mounted. Alright, I got the handrail bent up pretty decent. We'll go ahead and dip each end in the super glue. See if we can get this mounted first try. Let's go in that little tiny hole I drilled earlier. Look at that. Money. So there, we got that side done. We'll let that dry. We'll put the handrails on the other side. I also need a handrail right here on both sides. So yeah, once I get them all mounted, you can see I did paint this first one just to see how it was going to turn out. I had to pre-paint them. But it's working out, mounting and then painting. Alright, as you can see, we completed the handrails. You can see them down there. And right over there on the steps. So all the handrails are now complete. So we'll get back to messing with these hydraulic lines. Alright, now that we got all the hydraulic lines put on, I can start installing them in the machine. So let's see how that works out. Well, I was able to get that first one in there, but now the second one is going to be a little more difficult because it's blocked by the other one. Let's see if I can get down in there. Get the second one in there. I knew these middle ones are going to be a pain. Just wasn't sure how big of a pain. I think we can. Yeah, we got that. Oop, that's going to drip too much. Too much. Alright. So that may have worked out just fine. Sorry, my hand's in the way. Yeah, it's starting to get in these little tight spots now, trying to install these. But yeah, it's like they wanted you to install these, then put hydraulic lines on. I'm like, that's not going to work out. Let's see where that gets us. Gonna slide that right down in there. It's got some grooves you gotta lock it into. Think we got it. there's the inners. Now I didn't do all the hydraulic lines on those inners because they didn't give me enough. So I wanted to make sure you saw them on the outside of it. More detail on the outside. So we'll let that dry and we'll hit the outside ones. Alright, we'll try this other side. Get it in. See if we can get it to dry. Not enough. This has been a real fun model, being my first metal model. I'm not so sure how many I'd be willing to get into, but it's been a learning experience. It's been fun. I kind of like all the detail that it has, like all the hydraulic lines. It's been pretty cool. You don't think of a model like that much detail when you first start out. That went right in there. That hasn't been happening. Usually you gotta finesse it. Usually something's wrong. Oh, yeah. It didn't click in. There we go. Now it went right in there. Oop, no, I think this one's bent. Yeah, I think this one's bent. Hold up. Try this again. Yeah, that one was bent. Maybe that'll work this time. There we go. Yeah, I've enjoyed this build a lot. And I'd say if you guys want to try it, I would go for it. There we go. All the tamper heads are put in. Okay, I've been gluing in hydraulic lines pretty much off camera because they're so tedious. That's what I got so far. So I am making some good progress on the hydraulic lines. This is the main hydraulic line to the hydraulic tank, so I got to put that in place yet. Alright, problem I have is this model was supposed to come with a decal sheet, and it didn't. So what I'm going to attempt to do is right here on the main mast of the tamper, it's supposed to have the number 6700. There's supposed to be the Pandrel Jackson symbol right here on this tank. I'm not going to be able to mimic that. But what I did was got these Woodland Scenics dry transfer decals. And we're going to see if we can make them work. So let's see how this goes. Alright, first one turned out bad on the number 6. The problem I got is they only gave me 2 6s. So I might have to do a different size on the other side. That's not good. Didn't realize there wasn't enough in case you got to do more. I don't have the actual burnisher, so I'm using a dull pencil. Hey, hey. Make sure it's really on there. All right. I'll keep continuing on, see how we turn out. Well, for not having the actual decal set, the dry transfer seemed to work out, but the only problem I got is they only gave you 2 of each thing, so I might have to do the other side in smaller size. We'll have to see how this works out. Not happy about that. Well, I had to use the smaller letters. This side it seems to fit better, but still not happy I couldn't use both the same sizes. But at least we got it on there, seeing how the decal kit was missing. And it's not something I had to try and paint on there and look all silly. Looks like ogling, you know. But yeah. Well, this is the completion of the Pandrel Jackson 6700. So the model is finally finished. And as you can see right here, I did take the liberty of adding the somewhat electric lines to the laser lights on the laser buggy. I ended up using black sewing thread. And the control box that the wires are going to is just a piece of scrap metal that was left over from the model. And there you have it. Pandrel Jackson 6700 for Dave from the CCRX 6700 YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this build. I had a lot of fun. I think the hardest part out of the entire model, I don't know how much you can see it, is that little teeny tiny windshield wiper right there. That thing was a bear. It was made out of brass, super tiny. And if you're wondering what the K on the 6700 stands for, right there, on Dave's tamper, it was rebuilt by a company called Kanza. And the oil cooler, after it was built, was placed down here. I'll show you a picture of it. There were some modifications that they done when they rebuilt it, but on the model it wouldn't allow me to change that because this oil cooler keeps the frame together on the model. So I couldn't change that very much. Wasn't many liberties I could take with the model. See, now certain things had to fit into place. Okay, we'll do a quick rinse around, a little closer view. One thing about this build, I used some gel glue, and I wasn't quite happy with that, how that worked out, because it left a lot of glue residue that I wasn't aware of until more or less the clear coat I put on there, and it really brought it out. So I'm not happy with the gel glue. I'm not happy that I had to use two different letter sizes. So I guess you won't notice if he's displaying it on a shelf. You only see one side of it. But I did love how the hydraulic lines turned out. As you've seen in the previous picture, the view that he sees coming out of that cab is definitely nothing but hydraulic lines. So I'm real happy with the build, and I'm really hoping that Dave's happy with the build too. So you know what? Let's build Dave a base. Well, there it is. I decided to use that little Bachmann Easy Track. It had to cut the ends off of it, and I used the for sale sign to plug the hole there. So it was white, and I had to try and paint it, but I couldn't match the color. No matter what I could do, I couldn't match that color. So I just kind of like edged each corner. I don't know if it looks silly, but I think it turned out well for quickly putting one together. Let's see what the tamper looks like on it. Well, that looks good. So there's a few little mistakes in my wood thing here. I did end up chipping it right there. Going around the corner, I chipped it. Yeah, it was a quick mock-up anyway. If you saw my previous clip. Not bad for a quickie, I guess. I hope Dave likes it. You know what? Let's go find out if Dave likes it. Let's go see Dave. Come on, let's go. So I am here with the infamous Pandrel Jackson 6700 and Dave from CCRX 6700 YouTube channel.
Howdy.
And this is his pride and joy. The infamous Dave. So there is Dave and his model.
My big toy. Yeah, it's really cool. They spend all this money and buy me these big toys and then pay me to play with them in their sandbox. That's pretty neat.
Well, Dave, I'm glad you like your model, and I'm glad it's...
Tell you what, it's just absolutely beyond my imagination of what you, how well you did that job, how well you put it together. It's just totally fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Totally fantastic. I mean, I couldn't be happier.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Well, there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed the total 1 through 4 part series I did on the Pandrel Jackson. I had an enjoyable time building it. I'll probably end up doing a couple more, like I said. And please, one more time, go to the description, check out Dave's channel. You won't regret it. Now, while I was there, Dave did show me a couple great places to rail fan at. The many bridges on the Cumberland Mine, there's some great spots along the road and out in the field. And I'll be posting some rail fanning videos of the Cumberland Mine Railroad. Till then, happy modeling, happy railroading, and everybody be safe. Pappy out.